in Ohio. The service invites us to reflect on heat, the dry times of life, and the rootedness that sustains us through those times. Olentangy Wild Church is a worshiping group affiliated with Columbus Mennonite Church that meets monthly along the Olentangy River near Columbus, Ohio. It was formed in 2022. And this outline was submitted by Sarah R. Werner, the Communications Coordinator for the Central District Conference of Mennonite Church USA, and the pastor of Olentangy Wild Church. She teaches eco-theology and biblical studies courses at Pathways, a theological education program affiliated with the United Church of Christ. She is the author of Rooted Faith, Practices for Living Well on a Fragile Planet. And she blogs at sarahRwerner.wordpress.com. So that's where this is coming from. I don't take much credit for it at all. Okay. We're supposed to be outside today. So we're going to have to use our imaginations a little bit. Okay? And you might even want to close your eyes, and we'll do this like a meditation. Okay? And we'll imagine we're outside, and we'll take it from there. If you happen to fall asleep, that's okay. My theory on sleeping in church is that it's the preacher's responsibility to keep me awake. If he can't keep me awake, well, then it's okay to sleep. Well, maybe I have a little responsibility, but yeah, okay, mainly the preacher. So, permission to close your eyes and use this as a meditation. Imagine. Gathering and grounding. Let's take a minute to gather in a circle. We're outside in the woods. We're gathering in a circle with a worshipful attitude of engagement with the Creator and creation. Look at and listen to the space we are in. Notice the sky, the trees, creatures, birds, animals, insects, and the earth. Take some deep breaths. Feel your feet rooted on the ground, like the trees, connecting you to this place and to the ground of our being. To worship is to stand in awe under a heaven of stars, or before a flower, a leaf in sunlight, or a grain of sand. To worship is to be silent, receptive, before a tree astir with the wind or the passing shadow of a cloud. To worship is to work with dedication and with skill. It is to pause from work, to listen to a strain of music. To worship is to sing with the singing beauty of the earth. It is to listen through a storm to the still small voice within. Worship is the mystery within us, reaching out to the mystery beyond. We remember that we are part of this earth, made up of the soil beneath our feet, and connected to our plant and animal kin in a rich web. We acknowledge that this land was originally the home of other people, including the Ojibwe, Algonquin, and Odawa. We lament the destruction to life we and our ancestors have caused, and commit ourselves to repairing and restoring these broken connections with our words and actions. God, you are my God. I can't get enough of you. I've worked up such a hunger and thirst for God, traveling across dry and weary deserts. So here I am in this place of worship, eyes open, drinking in your strength and glory. In your generous love, I am really living at last. My lips brim praises like fountains. I bless you every time I take a breath. My arms wave like banners of praise to you. I eat my fill of prime rib and gravy. I smack my lips. It's time to shout praises. If I'm sleepless at midnight, I spend the hours in grateful reflection. Because you've always stood up for me, I am free to run and play. I hold on to you for dear life, and you hold me steady as a post. Blessed is the man who trusts me, God, the woman who sticks with God. They're like trees replanted in Eden, putting down roots near the rivers, never a worry through the hottest of summers, never dropping a leaf, serene and calm through droughts, bearing fresh fruit every season, not afraid when hot weather comes, because its leaves stay green. It has no worries when there is no rain, but keeps on bearing fruit. During these longest days of the year, when the light lingers late into the evening, we take time to remember our green kin, the trees. Here in Northern Ontario, we are shaded by tall pines, spruce, maple, oak, willow. They provide us with respite from the strong rays of summer sun. And their leaves are thrumming with activity, turning the carbon monoxide we exhale into oxygen that sustains all animal life. The middle of summer can be a trying time, especially for those of us who live in the city's heat islands. When the rain doesn't fall and our gardens begin to wilt, it's good to remember that even in times of drought, there is still water deep in the earth, nourishing the trees as they in turn provide us with shade and a cool place to sit. It's important to give thanks to God for the trees in our neighborhoods that shade our homes and streets, and to protect them as we would protect loved ones. Trees are also a reminder that we are connected to one another and to the rest of the natural world. All the trees around us in this forest are connected through root systems underground. They talk to each other constantly, but with pheromones instead of words. Each tree depends on the other trees. In the same way, we are also connected. Our life is characterized by interbeing. That's a term first coined by a Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. Our bodies are shot through with holiness, suffused with all other life forms, the food we eat from the bounty of the earth near and far, the air we breathe, the words and the bird song we hear echoing in our minds. We are never alone, never an island, but small parts of the ecosystem. And our bodies are ecosystems, walking habitat for billions of microorganisms that keep us alive and healthy. As you wander this afternoon and this week, I invite you to take time to smell a rose. Pick and eat some wild raspberries or blueberries. Sit or stand with a particular tree. Touch its bark or sit with your back against its trunk. And consider all the connections it has with the other plant and animal life around it, with the microbes in the soil, with you. Listen for what that tree might be saying to you today. Listen for what the earth might be saying to you today. As we go from this holy place, may we remember that all land is sacred. May we daily remember to give thanks to the trees and other plants that sustain our life, and to you, Sacred One, who suffuses all living beings. Amen. And I think David is going to lead us in the Lord's Supper. Is that next, Irma?